Today we're going to hang some wallpaper, a home improvement product that got a bad rap. The suckers who had to remove wallpaper are the ones complaining. Real, living negative Nancys amongst us. And who could blame them? They never asked for the hell that is wallpaper removal. But as you know, things in life that aren't your problem don't actually exist. After all, we aren't Nancy. We create Nancys. But before we give life to future Nancys, we need to get all this shit out of here. White wire shelving should be outlawed. While its practicality for home builders is undeniable, since it's cheap and easy to install, it's an affront to aesthetics. So I'm going to disassemble it and lay it into its final resting place, which actually turns out to be a young man named Juan from Facebook Marketplace, who got this for a very reasonable price. Rest in peace. This wallpaper was purchased from Svenska 10, which is a design company based in Sweden. Joseph Frank, the acclaimed Austrian-born designer, created it in the 1940s. Joseph Frank is a guy whose ideas I could get down with. He rejected functionalism, which is design based solely on purpose and function. Gross. He defined his design style as accidentism and stated that we should design our surroundings as if they originated by chance. And I just love that. So I'll be using this wallpaper for an accent wall in my wife's closet. We're going to need a paint tray, 3/8 of an inch nap roller, a small paintbrush, wallpaper adhesive paste, a smoothing tool. If you can find a metal one, that would be better, because this thing's a piece, a utility knife, a seam roller, and finally a paint roller frame. That's what these things are called. Who knew? If you order wallpaper with a pattern, you need to take that into consideration because you need to line up the pattern. I only ordered enough wallpaper to cover what I measured out my wall to be, but I'm losing length from the roll because I need to line up the pattern, and in the end I had to do a couple patches to make up for that missing paper. In short, order more paper than your final wall size because there's going to be some waste when you line up your pattern. Measure the total height of your wall and then give yourself a little bit extra on the tops and the bottom. We're going to be trimming that off with the smoothing tool and utility knife at the end. That is the amount of paper that I'm missing, and I'm going to have to patch that. Measure out the total width of the wallpaper that you'll be using and make a mark. We are going to carry that mark from ceiling to floor using the longest level that we have. Because houses are rarely finished totally square, it's better to just use a level. Non-woven wallpaper is extremely forgiving and not complicated to hang. It does not shrink, it does not tear, and it does not stretch. And no, we do not have to saturate it with water. All we are going to do is apply paste directly to the wall via the paint roller. Work your way from top to bottom, keeping your edge tight to the line. From there, we're going to flatten it out to make sure there's no bubbles. I was much more concerned about bubbles for no reason. It wasn't really a problem. What I would pay more attention to is lining up your seams, because if there's a gap, it will show and you will hate yourself forever. Wipe off any glue that got on the surface of the wallpaper using a damp rag. Next, we're going to trim the top and the sides using a straight edge and a utility knife. We're going to rest the straight edge where the wall meets the ceiling and then wedge the knife in there and get a nice, clean, straight cut. Once the ceiling is trimmed, you're going to do the same thing on the wall. When rolling the paste adhesive, you want to go over your line a little bit. So you want to go past the width of the current roll of wallpaper that you're working with. This way, when you go to line up your next row of wallpaper, you don't have to worry if there's adhesive there. You know that there is. You know it with all your heart, because you did it. Once your second row is in place, use your smoothing tool liberally across the entire surface and just make sure there's no bubbles. But most of all, make sure that your pattern lines up perfectly. This is what happens when you didn't order enough wallpaper and you had to match up a pattern. You need to patch, like a loser, like Nancy. Aww. dangerous.
You're gonna have to roll it. Put the damn thing in a bag. Call it a day. So what are you gonna do? The wallpaper first then? Both, or you're just gonna do mine first?
Just yours. Because now that our clothes will be living together, I need to get this done.
Daddy?
ASAP.
Alright, well I